Hello and welcome to Friday Night Fright presents Comic Book Cavalcade 2020. Man, we're going to have some fun this month. Every episode in May, every day in May, there's going to be a brand new episode. It's going to be a mini review of a comic book movie. Yay, can't wait, hyped. So it's going to cover the gauntlet. It's going to be loads of MCU stuff. There's going to be some DC stuff probably. Might be some other stuff. There's going to be Flash recaps of Flash Season 2 every Tuesday. So it's going to be 4 or 5 of those, depending on how many Tuesdays are in May. But it's going to be tight, because I've also got a week off. Yay! Anyway, this is the intro Comic Book Cavalcade. So you'll hear this every day of the week, and then you'll hear an intro for the movie I'm covering that day, or TV show. Ooh, scary! Anyway, I'll be back after a brief word from our sponsor. Hello, it's your boy Ian Austin. Welcome to Comic Book Cavalcade Day 3, May 3rd to be exact. And on today's list, we're going to be covering the first Thor movie made by Marvel Studios. Thor obviously is a difficult character to crack. He is an Asgardian god, or space alien as you go, who is magic or not magic, depending on how you work it. He may or may not be the most powerful character in comic books, but sometimes he's a doctor named Donald Blake who can also become the personification of the god of thunder. So it's quite a difficult character to get work in, especially for Marvel, because up to this point it had the Incredible Hulk, but that was a science experiment. That wasn't anything more than that, really. So they're not really going too far into the magical realm as of yet, but now they have to, because obviously with the Incredible Hulk, with the Thor even, you can't not go that route. You have to really embrace the weirdness. So despite the fact that I've seen it before many, many times, it'll be interesting to see how it works in context of how things are going in Marvel Cinematic Universe at the moment. And especially watching it in close proximity to Iron Man. Is it as good as I remember it being? I remember it being fish out of water. But does it treat cat with the reference it deserves? And does it feel as fresh as Thor Ragnarok does? Because Thor Ragnarok obviously is the best Thor movie and the coolest. Does it work like that? Or does it feel more like, Thor the Dark World? I can't say weird. The Dark World. Dark World. Is it going to be more like that? If it is, am I really going to enjoy it? I don't know, but it'll be nice watching context. So anyway, enough of my rambling. That's coming up. A review of that 4 is coming up in just a few seconds after a brief word from our sponsor. Hey guys, I've just finished 4 and I enjoyed it. I think it's definitely a mixed bag of a movie if you handle my weird analogies and or metaphors. It's an interesting movie because, like I said in the introduction, it's a very difficult movie to get right because you're dealing with a character who is out and out fantastical. And after Iron Man, which was very grounded in about technology, and Hulk, which was about man pissing about with science and creating monster. This is pure sci-fi. There's no way to explain anything which happens in this movie using science. It's magic, it's fantasy, it's all of that jazz. So it's a very difficult movie to make in that regard, because how do you make it? Do you go flat out comedy? Do you go serious route? Do you try and ground it in pseudoscience? And the answer is a combination of all of the above. It's a movie which starts with a very serious prologue, a very weighty prologue where Anthony Hopkins uses lots of grandeur and we get lots of Shakespearean politics, or pseudo-Shakespearean politics, if you will, in drama, with who will be king, who's supposed to be king, the lineage of throne, that sort of thing. And a lot of really intense scenes, like the opening bit with Thor and company, or not opening, near opening bit with Thor and Sif and Fandal and Drogon and Hogan. I can't remember their names. But when they fight the monsters, that the Frost Giants, that's really intense. That's terrifying, and it really makes, especially in retrospect, it really makes Thor a nightmarish figure because he's so irresponsible. He murders so many Frost Giants for no real reason whatsoever. I hate these people. My daddy hated them, so I have to kill them all. It's like, wait, what? Like, it's a really weird scene and borderline nightmare fuel. And then when he gets sent to Earth, it turns into a comedy, and it's very jarring. And not jarring like later Avengers movies where it goes from really serious to really dramatic to really funny to really goofy to really heartwarming a lot. This doesn't quite tonally add up. It seems like Kenneth Branagh really wanted to make a serious, weighty movie about, gods and fancying all of that setting Marvel Universe, but they wouldn't let him make that movie, so they asked him to make fish out of water stuff. And don't get me wrong, essentially it's a movie of two halves. You've got serious stuff and the funny stuff. The funny stuff is far better in my opinion, because Chris Hemsworth is a really good comic actor, and they've got some good comic time in between characters. And it's very enjoyable, very silly, very fun. And then got serious stuff, which is well acted to a degree. Anthony Hopkins and Tom Hiddleston are standouts, even though Chris Hemsworth gives his all. But they don't mesh brilliantly. Like, it seems like it's two movies jammed into one. You get a lot of weird transitions. You get the feeling that basically an hour of movie is a goofy comedy, and then first 20 minutes and last 20 minutes are really serious. And it doesn't entirely work. It's an enjoyable movie. It's a good movie. But in a strange way, like if you've seen the other two Thor movies, Thor 2 and Thor Ragnarok, Thor 2 is really serious. And Thor Ragnarok is really goofy. And they're both elements from this movie. But it seems like this was the movie where they weren't sure how they were going to handle Thor. Again, probably something of creative committing their ideas. And later movies were them trying to course correct. They tried with 4-2 and Darkness, which didn't work. And they tried with 4-3 and Humour, which did work. But it still seems like this was their... this was their attempt to make a complete Thor movie instead of like a stick to one, because Thor's character is goofy and serious at the same time. And yeah, I mean, they're lucky Chris Hemsworth is such a great Thor, because he's, I wouldn't say struggles, but I think it's lucky he he is so good as character, because he can hop between the two aspects pretty effortlessly. But you shouldn't have to, if you catch what I mean. You watch something like Iron Man and Captain America, and they're very tonally consistent all the way through. Especially Iron Man and Iron Man 2. You might not like them, but there's consistency in them. It doesn't seem to hop genres as much as this one does, because you got fish out of water stuff, and you got serious weighty Asgard and stuff, and they don't, I keep saying this, but there's a real contrast between them. But all in all, I'd say it's a good movie, good acting, good way to introduce Thor into the universe. I mean, it's the same thing I was saying in the opening bit. He's a very, very difficult actor to pull off, especially when you're already dealing with a cinematic universe, which has had 3 movies already, 3 of which are all very grounded and reasonably consistent tonally and visually. And then got this movie, which just goes batshit crazy. I will say the thing that hamstrings it is the fact that they're dealing with fantasy, but it's not done as well as Lord of the Rings. And I think that fundamentally is a problem with Marvel Studios at the time, that they weren't going to let, that sort of borderline OT approach happen, because Lord of the Rings movies are very much based on books by Tolkien, but they're also very much Peter Jackson movies. This feels like half Kenneth Branagh movie and half a Marvel movie. So this was before they really perfected the art of being able to work with directors, say F1's on the same page. This doesn't seem like F1 was quite on the same page, and Kenneth Branagh was just trying to add in some of those more Jon Favreau aspects while doing what he likes to do. Kenneth Branagh is obviously very weighty, serious Shakespearean actor, and the Shakespearean stuff in this is good, but it doesn't work with the comic stuff particularly. It's almost like it's 2 Shakespeare ones. It's almost like it's a sort of Merchant Venice, not Merchant Venice, A Midsummer Night's Dream mixed with Hamlet. It's like you can't just smash those 2 plays together. You need to pick one type of play and type of format and do that. But yeah, I'd say I'll go 3 stars, 3 out of 5. I think it's not as good as Iron Man, because Iron Man's very... Well, I mean, it's more entertaining in a lot of ways than Iron Man, but Iron Man's better made overall. Even Iron Man 2 is better made. So, yeah, I enjoy it. The one thing I really didn't like is the Dutch angles. I know Kenneth Branagh's probably going to go for the idea that gods are above us and we're staring up at them and they're mythical figures, and then the movie goes on, the Dutch angles disappear and they start viewing them. We view them differently, head on almost, when we actually relate to them as characters, but it's not a very good visual device. Sorry. It's one of those things where it's a neat idea in theory, but for a whole movie it doesn't particularly work. Even if there is some sort of story intent behind it, it's not just visual for the sake of visual, it's a weird visual and it just seems jarring, and unfortunately has a habit of making viewers, in this case me, feel like they're not engaging with the story the way they should, because you keep noticing camera angle and it's just when Dave Fincher does it and stuff, firstly he has borderline control over the entire product, so but secondly I don't notice it's the sort of thing when you watch back and see masterclass of shots or something like that, shot composition, and then you notice the shots. But in the actual terms of movie, I don't notice them, because it's like music in movies. Music in movies should be good and should feel resonant to the material, but at the same time, I like it when it blends in with movies and that you just get a complete immersive experience. If you start noticing the music to this exception of the visuals, I don't really think it works brilliantly at that point. So yeah, 3 out of 5, that's good. And tomorrow is Captain America First Avenger, which I think Captain America movies are not best of all Marvel, but probably most consistent. So I'm really looking forward to that. So yep, I'll be back tomorrow, and as always, remember, life is beautiful.